So I'll take few minutes and explain you the entire Gmat structure. Anyone who is not aware about the Gmat exam? Anyone who is not aware of the Gmat exam? So I'll take 2 minutes and explain you the entire structure. So the entire exam consists of two parts. You have a quant section and then you have a verbal section. So quant section consists of 31 questions. You will have 62 minutes, guys. And verbal section consists of 36 questions. You will have 65 minutes. So in verbal, there are three types of questions that are asked: sentence correction, critical reasoning, reading comprehension. And the best part about the verbal is that in CR, Gmat has already defined mostly 10 types of question that comes into picture, that comes in your exam. So you technically know everything that's gonna come in your exam. And this is 400 score and this is 400 score. In quant, there are two types of question that will be asked. You have a data sufficiency, you have a problem solving. And there are total 31 questions. You can expect data sufficiency question to be surely 17, 18 for sure. Even if you give some mocks, you will get to realize this. And rest of them will be problem solving question. And if you are actually doing good in quant, you can expect data sufficiency question to be as high as 20, 21 and all these stuff. And rest will be your problem solving. And there are two other sections except this. I'll discuss both the sections in detail when we are starting the class. There are two other sections that are there is a part of a Gmat is AWA and IR, that is integrated reasoning. So for this, you get half an hour. And the total point for this is 6. It is not AWA and IR is not included in your actual Gmat score of 800. You are scored separately, you are marked separately on this. So total score for AWA is 6. So AWA is nothing but a essay writing section, but I would not say it's technically a essay writing section. It's end of the day, you need to put down your own opinion. So what happens is that you are given, there is an argument that is given to you. And based on your reading of the argument, you need to put down your opinion in 4 paragraphs. In one paragraph, you try and strengthen the argument. In second paragraph, you try and weaken the argument. In third paragraph, you try and evaluate the argument. In fourth paragraph, you try and give your own assumptions to the argument. So it will be hardly 3 or 4 lines per paragraph. You don't have to at all be bothered as to what exactly is AWA, because when we do critical reasoning, in critical reasoning, we actually solve question based on argument. There is a question that is given, argument is given to you. Based on the reading of argument, you need to understand. The question will be asked that how should you strengthen it? How should you weaken it? How should you evaluate it? How should you give your own assumptions to it? How do you infer the argument? Find the paradox in the argument, find the flaw in the argument. So when we do critical reasoning, your AWA section is completely taken care of. You will exactly know, you will get to understand what is an argument. You will get to understand how to strengthen it, weaken it, evaluate it, or give your own assumptions to it. So there should not be a time in your preparation where you are giving like extra time to AWA, that you are keeping 10 days, I'll prepare for AWA. It should not happen at all. When you take your mocks, that is the moment this should be taken care of. The second section is integrated reasoning, which is again a half an hour section. And the total scoring for IR is 8. You will be scored out of 8. And there will be total 12 questions. The total score for this would be 8. And there are total 12 questions in IR. So again, integrated reasoning completely depends on your quant skills and your verbal skill, guys, because in Gmat, they also ask you critical reasoning in IR, but in a very different format. So if your verbal skills and quant skill is taken care of, IR should not be a problem at all. But your actual score of 800 comes from quant and verbal itself. So this is 400 and this is 400. And these are the two sections that should be done thoroughly, absolutely, perfectly, brilliantly right now. Okay. Any doubt in the structure?
No, it's clear.
All clear?
You do the online exam or the like?
Krish?
There's an online exam also right now.
There's an online exam. You can take it from home now, and there is no like you can actually have a whiteboard. You'll have to purchase a whiteboard from Amazon, Gmat whiteboard. And before it was like when online exam was introduced, they used to not allow you to do even rough on the pen and paper. They used to ask you to do rough only on the system. But
Okay.
now they have allowed you that whiteboard, so it's exactly the same thing. But I would still say go and take exam in the center. That is much better.
Okay.
So this is a complete structure of the exam. Any doubt? And scoring pattern, if you want to know, so you will not get to know in quant and verbal what is your individual score out of 400. The scale scoring is done. There is a total 51 scale score of 51 quant and a scale score of 51 in verbal. So out of 51, you get to know how much you have got. 51 out of 51, this is supposed to be 99th percentile. You get 50 in verbal quant, it is supposed to be 89th percentile. You get 49 in quant, it is supposed to be 79th percentile. You get 48 in quant, this comes down to 69 percentile. So there's a 1.10 percentile difference. You get 47, it comes down to 68th percentile. You get 46, it comes down to 55, I think, 55th percentile. In verbal, anything 42 plus is 99th percentile. 40 is considered to be 90th percentile. 39 is considered to be or somewhere around 87th percentile. 37 is considered to be 38 is considered to be anywhere around 81 to 82 percentile. 37 is considered to be your 77 percentile. So what exactly is the score? Like if you get 50 in verbal, 50 in quant out of 51, and you get 35 in verbal out of 51, this gives you 700. If you get 50 here, you get 40 here in verbal, quant 50, verbal 40, this gives you 740. If you get 50 here, 41, 42 here, this goes to 760. And if you want anything 760 plus, math score should be 51. 51 means you can afford to do hardly one mistake out of 31 questions. Anything more than one mistake, your score will drop to 50. So ideally, you should 100% try to get 50 here in quant, because if you go 49 in quant, your verbal score to get 7, like 49 and 38 gives you 710. They are the score that my students have got, I'm telling you. 49, 38 gives you 710. 710 or 720. So if at all you are looking for a good score, so verbal score is extremely important from the perspective of increasing your overall Gmat score. And quant score is extremely important for your admits perspective. Like what is the admit? Like when you go for a college, they want your quant score to be high. Even if you have got 7, so you can get 750 by having quant 50 and by having verbal 41 or 42 or even 40. This could be a score of yours. You can also get in verbal in quant 48 and in verbal 44 to get 750. But trust me, this score will always be preferable for your admission purpose. Quant score is extremely important for your admits, the school that you are targeting for. And overall Gmat score will be increased when your verbal score is good. Any doubt, guys? Anyone, any doubt?
No.
So can we go ahead and start with the class?
Yes.
So we'll start first with the quant class. So in quant, before we get into the chapter, like let's say there are total 31 questions in quant and you have 62 minutes for it. And majorly there are two types of questions that are asked in quant. One is your data sufficiency. Another is problem solving. So these are not the chapter, these are the structure of the questions. Any questions from any chapter could be asked in form of a data sufficiency. And questions from any chapter could be also asked in form of a problem solving. But Gmat love giving you data sufficiency question more. You need to understand because they love giving you more DS concept question. Why? Because your thought process involved in this question is too high. Essentially, you are not trying to solve questions in data sufficiency. You are given one question and there are two statements given to you. So you need to mark your answer in form of A, B, C, D, E. Statement A stands for statement number 1 alone is sufficient to answer the question. So there are some questions which cannot be answered with the help of statement number 1. You go and look into statement number 2. If a statement number 2 is sufficient to answer the question, you mark answer B over here. If a statement number 1 is sufficient to answer the question, you mark statement A as answer. Technically, please understand, when do you combine the statements? So when you can't answer question with the help of statement number 1 and 2, only then you go ahead and combine the statement. So C says that statement number 1 and 2 both are sufficient to answer the question. And D says statement 1 alone and statement 2 alone is sufficient to answer the question. And he says none of these. Like this question cannot be answered with the help of these two, any of the statements.
Rahul, could you explain the difference between C and D? I didn't understand.
So C says that, let's say so there's a question given. So essentially in data sufficiency, you are not trying to solve the question, right? You are just trying to say that, can you answer the question with the help of statements given to you or not? So what happens that in option number C, what happens? Statement number 1 is not sufficient to answer the question. Statement number 2 is not sufficient to answer the question, let's say. So what exactly we go ahead and do? We try and combine and see, can we answer this particular question or not? So if you are combining both the statements and you are in position to find the answer, you will go with the option number C. And option number D says that statement 1 alone is sufficient to answer the question and statement 2 alone is sufficient to answer the question. Any doubt?
Got it.
You will not understand in this way. We'll come to this. So what happens, guys? Data sufficiency is given a humongous importance in Quant exam of Gmat for sure. And the way we'll be going ahead with the chapters is, like the first chapter that we discuss is inequality. The second chapter that we discuss is absolute value. The third chapter we discuss is statistic. Fourth chapter we discuss will be number system. Fifth chapter that would be discussing is geometry. Sixth would be your coordinate geometry. Seventh would be your words problem. And words problem will consist of chapters like you will have sets, you have percentage, you have ratios, you have time and distance, you have time and work, you have interest. Mixtures problem will be covered in ratio. And eighth would be your PNC and probability. So this is how we'll go ahead with the chapter. But please understand, you have to be really, really good in these chapters. You go and write any mocks and you will see the importance of these particular chapters, these 3 chapters. Out of 31, you can expect 13 to 14 questions alone coming from these chapters. Alone. So the chapter that we are going to do today is extremely important. You have to understand it very conceptually in order to ensure, and inequality is directly, your absolute value number system thought process is directly proportional to the chapter inequality. So I can say this is one of the trickiest chapter that we are discussing today. We'll be starting, will not be finishing it for sure. And a statistic, you can 100% expect 2 questions to come from here. One would be your, for sure, standard deviation and range. It's a very recent trend. The standard deviation range, they combine and give you 1 question. 1 question they would give you on median or average. Or either it could be 3 also. Like there is no defined stuff that a statistic will have 2 questions, but minimum 2 questions is for sure. Standard deviation range, 1 question, 100% sure. Median, average, sometime it happens both will be asked, sometime it happens any one will be asked. Geometry and coordinate geometry, if you combine, you can expect 6 to 7 questions for sure. Words problem, you can expect 5 to 6 questions. PNC and probability, you can expect max 2, not more than this. So this gives you a bifurcation of 31 questions. So imagine algebra is how important. Inequality, absolute value, number system, these are all the parts of algebra. So you have to be really good at this chapter for sure. And once you are good in inequality, you can expect that absolute value number system is taken care of. And if these 3 chapters you are good at, you are done with the 50% of quant section. Any doubt? Any question, guys?
No, Rahul.
So we'll start.
Yes, Rahul.
So before we go ahead with the inequality, so before we start the individual chapter inequality absolute value, I just want to take at least half an hour of data sufficiency DS concept classes, which you must have already seen in the video if you have been through it. but still I'll discuss once. Because I don't want that when we do inequality chapter, when we do absolute value chapter, when we do number system chapter, that's a place you ask me, Rahul, how to solve a DS question. So how to solve data sufficiency problem should be very clear right at this point of time in this next half an hour. So in data sufficiency, guys, there are two types of questions that are asked in the exam. You have one is type and you have one what type. So in is type, confirm yes and confirm no. Both are accepted answer. In what type, you have a unique numeric value as an answer. So what do you, so before we discuss what type, let's come to is type. So what exactly you mean by is type? What do you mean by confirm yes and confirm no? Both are accepted answer. It's same as asking, is your name Rahul? And you have answered no to it. I can ask, is your name Aditi? You have answered yes to it. I can say, is your name Manu? You have answered yes to it. So confirm yes and confirm no, both are accepted answer. So imagine I give you a simple question, that is x greater than 50? My option number 1 says x is greater than 40. My option number 2 says x is less than 45. And moment you have two options, your answer should revolve around A, B, C, D, E. A says statement number 1 alone is sufficient to answer the question. B says statement number alone is sufficient to answer the question. C says statement 1 and 2 combine. D says statement 1 alone and statement 2 alone. E says none of these. This question cannot be answered with the help of these two statements. So if there's a simple question in front of you, is x greater than 50? Option number 1 says x is greater than 40. Option number 2 says x is less than 45. What's the answer to that?
C.
Next answer?
B.
Next. Shruti, your answer?
Could you repeat, Rahul?
What's your answer?
Like,
this
what
question?
was the question? I couldn't like.
Is x
understand.
greater than 50? Option number 1 says x is greater than 40. Option number 2 says x is less than 45. Krish, what's your answer?
I think it is. It's A.
Mano, your answer?
Yeah, it should be B.
Okay. Aditi?
It should be, I don't know, E. I'm not sure.
Shivani, your answer? Your answer, Shivani?
I'll probably B, but
B. Okay. Pooja?
I'll guess E.
Perfect. So see here, guys. To understanding this concept of S type is pretty simple, but again, application of this in a problem is something that we need to learn. So option number 1 says x is greater than 40. So when I say x is greater than 40, what are the values x can take? I can say x can be 45, right? And what is my question? Is x greater than 50? This is my question. Option number 1 says x can be equal to 45, and see this is less than 50. I have a no situation to this. But when I say x is greater than 40, x can be 45, but x can be 60 as well, which is actually greater than 50. And I have a yes situation to this. Agreed? So this would be not sufficient. When I say option number 2, x is less than 45, it means what? X can be 44, x can be 43, x can be 42 to negative infinity. So to say that, let's say, imagine if I ask you, is your name Rahul? What is your answer? No. And no is an accepted answer, right? When I say x is greater than, is x greater than 50? Option number 2, can option number 2 is confirming no, x is never greater than 50? Is option number 2 is confirming me this or not? X is never
Yes.
greater than 50. So this is the valid answer to our question. So what you need to do, guys, in this type of a question, your job while solving every option is to create a yes and no situation for yourself. So when I say ki x is greater than 40, I said x can be 45. I have a situation where it is less than 50. But x is greater than 40, I can also say x is equal to 60. I have a situation which is greater than 50. So I have a yes and no situation to this option. So whenever we solve a is type of a problem, our job is to create a yes and no situation. If we can create yes and no situation, it means that statement is not sufficient. And please ensure that you do all these calculations on pen and paper. Never do anything. At least for now, don't do things in your head, in your mind. It should be done on the pen and paper. Whenever you are solving a is type of a problem, you must have a yes and no situation to say the answer is not sufficient. And the purpose of you solving any statement of is type is to create a yes and no situation. Simple logic. Shruti, clear?
Yes, got it.
So,
but in
Rahul,
option, yeah, please tell me.
yeah, Rahul Manu here. So
Yeah.
what I understand is that for data sufficiency questions, I don't have to focus on finding the value of X unless and
Never ever.
until I'm able to
If you are able to
judge
conclude
whether
it's a
it's,
confirm
yeah,
yes
it's
or a
okay.
confirm no, you are
Okay.
not supposed to find the value. I'll just give you one question based on that. It will be extremely clear.
Okay.
And option number 2 says what? X is less than 45. So there is not one single value of X that can be greater than 50. I get a confirm no answer. Is X greater than 50? Option number 2 says no, X is never greater than 50. And this is my answer. So to this question, I'll mark answer B sufficient to answer the question. Option B. So again, understanding confirm yes, confirm no is pretty simple, but we need to 100% understand exactly how we use this concept while we are solving the question. Imagine, and I'm doing something which you have already done it. So it may be boring for someone, but please bear with me for half an hour. So let's say ABC is a right angle triangle. Can you tell me guys when a triangle is a right angle triangle? Pythagoras theorem should be satisfied, right? AC should be equal to, AC square should be equal to AB square plus BC square. So if I take a triangle whose sides are 3, 4, 5, can I say a triangle with side 3, 4, 5 is always a right angle triangle? Because 5 square is what? 25. This is 3 square and this is 4 square. So 25 is equal to nothing but 9 plus 16. 25 is equal to 25, right? So my LHS is equal to RHS. Simple logic. So for a triangle to be a right angle triangle, please understand AC square should always be equal to AB square plus BC square. Hypotenuse square should be equal to the square of sum of the sides. Now this is one simple logic, and based on this, there is one question that I'll ask you to solve. Because in math, guys, please understand there is nothing called theory. You have to solve problem. Question number 7. Please try. Take 2 minutes. Don't at all bother you're solving right or wrong. You just have to solve it. Get some answers for sure.
Rahul, the answer is C.
C. Okay.
Yeah.
Any other answer? Well, whatever it is, doesn't matter at all. Right, wrong, absolutely does not matter. Krish, your answer?
I think it's C.
Shruti?
I think it's E because in C you could get a yes or a no, right?
Perfect, Shruti, will come to that. Your answer is E. Aditi?
I said C.
Okay. Pooja? Shivani?
C.
C. Pooja?
That was me. C.
Perfect, I'll do it now. So it says that if the length of AB is 17, this is 17 for sure. And it says this triangle ABC a right angle triangle. So option number 1 says BC is 144. Now imagine if BC is 144. So I have to ensure that is this a triangle, a right angle triangle or not, I need to satisfy this theorem for simple logic. Option number 1 says BC is 144. I don't know the value of AC square. I know 17 square plus BC square is 144 square. But this is a place which I have no idea about, right? It could be anything. Any problem, any conceptual understanding you have in this option? Because a lot of people fight with me in this option. That whatever value 17 square plus 144 square will be the same value over here. I don't know if you people have any problem in this option to say it is not sufficient. Because technically we don't know this value at all. It could be 145, it could be 150, it could be 143, it could be 142. We have no idea about what exactly is the value of AC. So I say this is not sufficient. Option number 2 says AC is 145. Any problem? So when you go into option number 2, guys, please ensure option number 1 does not exist for you at all.
I would have a question actually.
Yeah,
So
please tell me.
the first one saying
Yeah.
BC equal to 144, let's say.
Hmm.
We can also say that 144 square is equal to 17 square plus something. Right? Like we don't know what side is what.
But we don't know what is the value of AC, no?
Okay.
So imagine this triangle is of 3, 4, 5. You forget about 17, 144, 145. Imagine this is 3 and this is 4. You know that AB square is 3 square. You know that BC square is 4 square. Okay. What is the value of AC square? Now you say it's 25, but I would say no. Let's say it is 5. It could be 5. It could be 6 as well. It could be 4 as well. So technically, in case of 3, 4, 5, I don't know what is the value of AC. It could be 5. It could be 6. It could be 4. And the same logic goes for 17, 144, and 145.
Okay.
Right? Understood?
Okay.
Sure, Krish. Tell me if there is any problem. Because these are very initial stuff. And
right now you showed the side, okay, when you were doing the question. But when I was solving the question,
yeah,
I assumed that because like what I assumed is like because it's given that BC is 144, like in the question, there's no triangle drawn.
There's no triangle. So please understand. I got it. I got it. What you were trying to say. Please understand. The question is trying to say is ABC a right angle triangle, right? If at all ABC is a right angle triangle, Krish, so the value of AC should be the largest value, because largest value side is equal to sum of the square of the other two sides.
Right.
So if you draw a triangle in this case, a triangle should be drawn in this way, where AC is your hypotenuse.
Okay.
You can't draw either way. You can't draw B here. You can't say B here, C here, and A is this. And you say that is ABC a right angle triangle? That will not be.
Okay.
AC should be the hypotenuse if at all you are considering, because AC should be the highest side and it is given to you AC is 145. So simple logic. Agreed?
Okay.
So option number 1 is not sufficient. Krish, option number 2, again, you have 145 square here, but you are not sure about 144 square.
Right.
You don't know what is the value of BC. And when you are going to option number 2, please ensure do not carry forward the information of 1 to 2. It is straight away not sufficient. Now, when I combine these stuffs, what happened? 145 square equal to 17 square plus 144 square, right? Now, from here on, what have you done? How exactly you said answer is C. The value of 145 square is what? A. Let's say I take the value of 144 square, 145 square is A. The value of 17 square plus 144 square is B. Imagine if I say you A is equal to B. What do you mean by this? Is this a confirm yes answer? Yes, it's a right angle triangle. Either A can be equal to B, or what it can happen? A is not equal to B. And if A is not equal to B, you will have a confirm no answer.
Yeah.
So please ensure that you don't try solving this question, this option, Manu. This is what you are asking, Manu, right? You are not supposed to solve this at all. Because if at all you try and solve, Gmat expected that you do this question in 20 seconds. And if you try and solve this, you will 100% end up taking 2 minutes or 1 minute, whatsoever. But this was a place where you don't have to solve it at all. You know that the value of 145 square is A. You know value of 17 square plus 144 square is B. Now there could be only two scenarios. Either A can be equal to B or A cannot be equal to B. If A is equal to B, it's a confirmed yes answer. If A is not equal to B, it's a confirmed no answer. So in both the cases, we have answer. So I can straight away mark answer C without even solving them. But if at all you need to solve that, what exactly you do? You just bring 145 square minus 144 square is equal to 17 square. That is nothing but 145 minus 145 plus 144 into 45 minus 144. This is 289. So 289 cross 1 is equal to 289. So if you eventually try and solve this, you will get that A is equal to B. And then you will mark a confirm yes answer, but it was not required for you at all. Now imagine I give you question number 6. I'm asking you to solve just option number 1. I'm not even asking you to touch option number 2 at all. Read the question and tell one is the right answer, one is the answer or not. Statement number 1. You don't have to know any idea about interest and all. If you know what is this concept, you will be able to solve this question. Question number 6. It says what?
It would be A, I think, because you're given the total interest and then you're given the N.
Absolutely, because I is
And
given
R
to you
is-
in option number 1, that is 210. N is given to you 2 years. N is the value of N is given to you. You will get the value of R. Imagine value of R is less than 8%. What is your answer? Confirm no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine value of R is equal to 8%. What is your answer? Confirm no?
Yeah.
Imagine value of R is greater than 8%. What is your answer? Confirm yes. So
Yeah.
if at all you try and go ahead and solve this, you will simply waste 2 minutes of time. So please understand, knowing is concept, confirm yes, confirm no, are the right answer is not sufficient. You have to 100% learn how to use it while you are solving the question. It's extremely important. And when we go
I
into,
had a doubt.
yeah, please tell me.
So basically now in this scenario, one is sufficient and there's also the option
There's
D, right?
also option number 2. Yeah. I'm not saying that for this question, I have said you don't look into option number 2 at all.
Okay.
Just tell me option number 1 is sufficient or not.
Okay.
You may end up, obviously, if option number 1 alone is sufficient, option number 2 alone is sufficient, in that case, you will mark answer D. I'm not asking you to not look into that. I'm just telling you how you are using is concept in this particular option. Agreed?
Got it.
So this is straight away, this is 20-second problem. Option number 1. Option number 2, yeah, please tell me.
Yeah, I just I think you were coming to that, but if the second option would have been my first option.
Yeah, then you will have to go and solve it for sure.
Yeah, exactly, no,
Absolutely,
right.
100%. So the point is you have to look into every statement independently for sure. Now you look into option number 1 or option number 2. So a lot of people says the way of looking is A or then look into B. No, you look first, you look into A and then it goes to, if A is not there, you can look into B. If you are not able to understand A, B, then C, D, E. But see, these are things all bullshit crap, that A, C, D, E and all. Our first job in data sufficiency, whichever option you feel easy, attack that option first. Because when you are looking into two statements independently, both the statements are independent of each other. In case option number 1 is not sufficient, option number 2 is not sufficient, that is the only situation where you need to combine. So you should not at all follow any certain sort of a pattern. It's simple. Whichever option you feel to be easy, you go and attack that option. And this is an interest problem. Will come to all these questions. So what I have done in first class now, in first half an hour, 45 minutes, I put here data sufficiency good questions where you don't require any extra knowledge to solve all these questions, just to show you how to attempt a data sufficiency problem. So there are a lot of questions of mods also that are there in this handout, but we'll not do all the questions. We'll just do so much of questions so that you have a clear idea about how to approach a data sufficiency question. And then all these questions will be covered when we do the respective chapters. All the questions will be covered. Nothing will be left out at all. But can you do one more question for me? Question number 1, please. This was there in the video, so it's okay. Try question number 1, take 2 minutes. So terminating decimal is something that stops. 1/2 is terminating 0.5. Non-terminating is which does not stop. 1/3, 0.3333. It keeps going on.
I think C will be the answer.
Okay. Any other answer? Krish, what's your answer?
I think it's C.
Shruti, your answer?
Yeah, C.
Aditi,
C.
Pooja, Shivani, Manu.
Same. C.
Yeah, I already said C.
I think it should be B.
B. Okay, one different answer. So fun. When now whoever has told answer C, please see here. It says that is P by Q a terminating decimal. Question is pretty simple. Is P by Q a terminating decimal? Option number 1 says P is a factor of 100. Option number 2 says Q is a factor of 100. Now, when I say P is a factor of 100, what are the values of P? It can be 1, 2, 4, 5, 10, 20, 25, 50, 100. These are the possible values of P, right? P is a factor of 100. Now, I have no idea about the value of Q from option number 1. I can take P is equal to 2, Q is equal to 2, and P by Q is what? 2 by 2, that is 1, which is a terminating condition. I have a yes situation over here. Now imagine in second statement what I can do second situation, because what is our job in this type of a problem? To create a yes and no situation. So I should always be back of creating a yes and no situation. If I can create it, the option is not sufficient. If I can't create it, the option is sufficient. Imagine if I take P is equal to 2, Q is equal to 3. P by Q becomes what? 2 by 3, that is 0.666. It's a no condition. So I say option number 1 is not sufficient because I have a yes and no situation.
Oh, sorry, Rahul, my answer is B. I was a little confused.
Perfect.
B.
No issues. Now, whoever has told answer C, give me a yes or no situation for option number 2, please. Because you said answer is C. If you have said answer is C, then you should be 1001% sure that option number B is not sufficient to answer the question, right? Only then you can say answer C. Because if a statement alone is sufficient to answer the question, going to C is logically flawed. Because Gmat says you should only go to C when you are 100% sure that 1 is not sufficient, 2 is not sufficient, or else you can't go to C at all. So tell me in this place, what are the yes and no situation for option number 2 who have marked answer C? Please. Now I say Q is a factor. Option number 2 says Q is a factor of 100. So give me a yes and no situation. Whatever options you have taken, tell me. So you can take P2, Q2, P by Q is 2 by 2, that is 1. It's a terminating condition. It's a yes situation. Give me a no situation where it is not terminating. The one who has said answer C.
For that, since Q is a factor of 100, I took 2 for Q and P 2 again.
Then that is a yes situation. I'm asking you no
Yeah.
situation.
Sorry. 2 by 3.
You can't take Q as 3 because Q is a factor of 100. Option number 2 says Q is a
No,
factor of 100.
Q is 2 and P is 3.
It will still give you a yes situation. Please divide. You should never say answer C till you are extremely sure that 1 is not sufficient, 2 is not sufficient. See here, nowhere it is mentioned to you in the question that P and Q are integers. Please understand. So why should I be taking only integral values? Imagine if I take value of P as 1 by 3 and Q as 2, what will I get? P by Q is what? 1 by 6, right? And this is a no situation. This is a non-terminating condition. You can divide and look into it. So I have a no situation to this and I say this statement is not sufficient. But please be extremely sure until you are not very sure about that one is not sufficient for a particular. And how can you be sure in this type of a problem that statements are not sufficient? You must have a yes or no situation on your paper and pen with pen. You can't do anything with your head. So when I take P as 1 by 3 and Q as 2, why did I take P as 1 by 3? Please understand, it is not given to me in the question that P and Q are integer. If question would have been, if P and Q are integer, is P by Q a terminating decimal? I could have marked answer B. But because this statement is not mentioned in the question that P and Q are integer, I can't say answer B for sure because I have a yes and no situation. When I take P as 1 by 3, Q as 2, I'm getting P by Q as 1 by 6. And if you divide 1 by 6, it's a non-terminating condition. And when you combine, so now I know that 1 is not sufficient. I know second option number 2 is also not sufficient. Then I go and combine. So when I combine, I can take P is equal to Q is equal to all these numbers. And you take any of these numbers and divide by each other, you will always get a terminating condition. So answer to the given question is C. So the learning from this question is, guys, if you divide any number by 2, or you divide any number by 5, or you divide any number by 2 cross 5, or you divide any number by 2 to the power m, or you divide any number by 5 to the power n, or you divide any number by 2 to the power m into 5 to the power n. This is the only way when you get a terminating condition, that's all. You can tell me, Rahul, 9 by 3 is terminating, but please understand 9 is nothing but a multiple of 3. 10 by 3 will never be terminating condition. So I didn't even divide 1 by 6 and I told you it's a non-terminating. Why? Because in denominator for 6, it is 1 by 2 cross 3. So there is no 5 over here. So if I told you divide this number, it has to be a non-terminating condition. For terminating condition, denominator should consist of only 2 and 5. Either combination of 2 and 5, or either 2 or only 5, but nothing else except that. Agreed?
Yes.
Any doubt in this question? So answer to this question is C, because I'm not sure that P is integer, Q is integer. So when you are creating a yes or no situation, you can take P anything. You can take P as a fraction as well. And that's what I've done in option number 2 to create a no situation. So this was a is type of a question, guys. What do you mean by what type, by the way? So there's a different type of a data sufficiency question that could be asked. That is what type. And it says that in what type unique numeric value should be your solution. Any doubt, please ask me. If you won't ask me, how will I know? So in what type of a question, you must get unique numeric value as solution. Imagine I give you a simple question. What is the value of x? Option number 1 says x square is equal to 36. Option number 2 says x is greater than 2. Moment you have two statements, the answer should be only in form of A, B, C, D, E. That's it. Nothing else at all. So what should be the answer? Quick, 20-second problem.
D.
What?
Is it D?
D. No, but from option number 1, x square is what?
Should be C because
X is equal to plus 6 or minus 6. No?
Minus 6, yeah.
And you must have a unique numeric value as answer.
Okay.
C.
Only one value. So option number 1 is not sufficient. Option number 2, x greater than 2, there are multiple possible values. This is not sufficient. When I combine, I get x is equal to 6. Minus 6 is discarded because x should be greater than 2. This is the place where you can't argue with me saying that Rahul, x greater than 2 means 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to infinity, anything is possible. That is possible in independent. When you are looking into this statement separately, x is greater than 2, multiple values are possible, not sufficient. But when I'm combining, 100% ensure your bracket, your combination should be done right from this bracket. You should not exceed this bracket. So option number 1 says me x is equal to plus 6 or minus 6. Option number 2 says me x is greater than 2. So when I combine x is equal to 6 is the right answer because minus 6 is discarded. It is not greater than 2. So C is the right answer to it. Now I'll give you one very beautiful question. Please understand, because see guys, this is the most basic thing. There is nothing called basic theory in math. The basic should be learned with the question itself. Now try doing question number 4. You know what is what type? What type ensures that you must get unique numeric value as answer, just one value. So question number 4, please take 2 minutes.
Is the answer C?
Okay. C. Aditi, right?
Yeah.
Aditi, you got C, right?
Yeah, Aditi.
Do you think Aditi Gmat will give you
Yeah.
such an easy question? Think once. Do you really think Gmat will give you such an easy question? 2 equations, 2 variable and find the value? And Aditi, this is an easy type of a question, by the way.
Okay.
So if you do easy question wrong in Gmat, the penalty is humongous. Humongous.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Krish, what's your answer?
I was confused between B and C because
B and C.
yeah.
Okay.
I tried solving it and then got the answer, but then yeah.
Please try. You can take one more minute. Shruti, got the answer?
I'm thinking some.
Shivani?
I think it's
Manu got the answer? Pooja? Lakshmi?
My answer is E, Rahul.
Okay, Lakshmi.
This is Pooja.
Okay, Pooja. Manu, what the answer? I'll discuss fast.
Yeah, I think it's E.
Okay. So see here, it says that Jonna bought 0.15 stamp and 0.29 stamp. So let's say 0.15 stamp is X and 0.29 stamp is Y. So how many 0.15 stamp did see Y means what is the value of X they're asking you. So technically it says, let's say 0.15 stamp is X, 0.29 stamp is Y. They're asking you what is the value of X. Please be extremely sure every data sufficiency question can be classified into 2 types. Either it is S type or it is what type. Now the question you're asking what is value of X. So I must have a unique numeric value of X. Option number 1 says what? That C bought an equal number of 0.15 stamp and 0.29 stamp. It means X is equal to Y. And X is equal to Y. I have no idea about the value of X and Y. I can straight away say this is not sufficient. Option number 2 says what? C bought 4.40 worth of stamp. It means 0.15X plus 0.29Y is equal to 4.40. Agreed? Now imagine if I ask you, okay, X plus Y is equal to 10. I'll ask you what is the value of X. You can send me multiple values. It can be 9 and 1, Rahul. It can be 8 and 2. It can be 7 and 3. It can be 6 and 4. So if this is a question I give you X plus Y is equal to 10, I ask you value of X, you will straight away say this is not sufficient because there are multiple values. Now what happens over here, guys, that you see when you, so these are easy types of questions in Gmat. Please be extremely sure about it. And easy questions are also a bit tricky question. If you are 1001% sure that C is the right answer, trust me, C will never be the answer. It's called a C trap problem. Because I've told you pretty simple stuff. I told you option number 1 says x is equal to y. I have said you not sufficient. Why? Because I don't know the value of x and y. X and y can be 10, 20, 30, 40, whatsoever. There could be multiple values. But when you say this statement is not sufficient, if at all you combine it and you say this statement is not sufficient, how do you prove me that this is not sufficient? You will have to give me two values of x and y now. When I say you x plus y is equal to 10, I ask you what is the value of x. Now you say me this is not sufficient. Why? Because you know, okay, there could be x could be 9, y could be 1, x could be 8, y can be 2. Now you are actually giving me two different values over here. X and y could be 9 and 1, x and y could be 8 and 2. There are two possible values of x and you are saying this is not sufficient. Did you actually try doing this over here? Or you straight away looked into two equations, two variable and you marked answer C? It's very, very important. I'm telling you, these are very small stuff, but if you miss these things, it will be a big problem in the exam. The way questions on Gmat are asked, that are not tough at all. You may regret, I knew this question and despite that my answer is wrong. So Gmat is a very thoughtful exam. They never give you give you any content in the exam for sure, where you are involved in calculations and all. Moment any place you are doing in Gmat 289 into 79, ensure that you stop and think that it is wrong. This will not be done in this way. Gmat is not calculative exam at all. So please guys, in such type of a question, see what I'm gonna say you now. Now what I'm trying to say you is not any logic. It's not any concept. It's purely my observation. So when you solve your question, you will have your own observation and based on that you can do. So see here, if you remove, can I remove all these points and say 15x plus 29y is equal to 440? What is 29? Is it a prime number?
Yeah.
It's a prime number, right?
Yeah.
So I have seen this in plenty of the question. If in an equation there is one prime number, it means there is only one value of x and one value of y that will satisfy this equation. Imagine if I put x is equal to 10. So 15x becomes what? 150. Imagine y I put equal to 10. 29 becomes what? 290. So if you add it, you will get 440. And there is no other value except x is equal to 10 and y is equal to 10, which will give you 440. Now, how do you get to know this? You will have to do hit and trial method. There is no other method at all. But that's what, when you solve such type of a question, there is a certain sort of observation that you will have. And this is what is called shortcut. But technically, there is nothing called shortcut and all that exists in math. You have to know the concept well. So if there is one prime number, I'm telling you purely based on my observation. So in your home, your job is to go and do the homework and see that is there any other value of x and y for which you can get 440. If you actually have those values, then what we have done is wrong. So right now I can tell B is sufficient to answer the question. Because Manu, E cannot be the answer. Why? Because if at all you combine, you will 100% get a value of x and y, right? And you will get only one value of x and y because it's a linear equation. So E possibility is gone. D possibility is gone because one is not sufficient. I'm left between A, B and C. Matlab A is gone. I'm left only between B and C. But to say that C is the answer, you will have to show me that B is not sufficient because of this particular reason. And this is a what type of a question. So when you are saying me that Rahul, B statement is not sufficient, you will have to give me two different values of x to say, Rahul, for if I, like imagine when I asked you x plus y is equal to 10, and I ask you value of x, and this is the statement number 1. The question is, what is value of x? What is x? Statement number 1 says x plus y is equal to 10. It will take you hardly 20 seconds to say not sufficient. Why? Because you know x can be 1, 9, y can be 1, x can be 8, y can be 2. I have got two different values. This is more than sufficient to say this statement is not sufficient. So if at all you are trying to answer C, then you will have to give me one value, two values of x and y. Only x, y can be whatever. Obviously, if you change the value of x, y value will automatically change. So if you follow the process, trust me, 90% of the question you will 100% know. If at all, even if you are doing wrong, you will 100% get to know you are doing something wrong for sure. The process is pretty simple. Now, exactly the same type of a question, I'll give you one more. You should tell the answer in 20 seconds. Question number 12.
B. The answer is B, Rahul.
Brilliant. Because option number 1 says you what? X plus y is equal to 6. Agreed? It says Martha bought several pencils. If each pencil was 23 cents, let's say 23 cent pencil was X and 21 cent pencil was Y. How many 23 cent pencil did she buy? What is the value of X they are trying to calculate? So option number 1 says X plus Y is equal to 6. I can have X is equal to 5, Y is equal to 1, X is equal to 4, Y is equal to 2. I'll get 6. I have two different values of X. I can say it is not sufficient. Second says what? The total value of the pencils Martha bought is 130 cent. It means what? 23x plus 21y is equal to 130. Now 23 is one prime number. This is completely my observation. You can 100% ensure that in your homework, you ensure that you go and analyze it by yourself. Do your hit and trial method. See that is there any other value of X and Y that exists. I can straight away say that 23 is a prime number based on my observation. This statement is sufficient because there will be only one value of X and Y which will give you 130. So imagine if I put X is equal to 2 over here. What is 23 to? 20 into 2, 6 and 4. Imagine I put Y is equal to, I put 4 over here. So this is 130. There is no other value except 2, except for X is equal to 2 and Y is equal to 4, which will give you 130. Simple logic. Shruti, clear?
Yes.
Krish, clear?
Yeah. Yeah.
Manu, clear?
Yes.
Perfect. So answer is B to this. Now this was like how we solve a data sufficiency question. I hope it's understood now exactly how should you mark the answer A, B, C, D, E. Any doubt? Any doubt in marking your answers? Because we'll start inequalities. We can't do all the questions over here because there are questions of number system. There are questions of absolute value. So let's do it when we do the respective chapter. So should I start inequality?
Yes.
Perfect. So guys, again, this is one of the most important chapter, most confusing chapter. You need to concentrate extremely to be extremely fine. But trust me, if you're good in this chapter, you will have a control of entire math. I can promise you. You should have a very good command in this chapter because this chapter gives you a very beautiful thought process. And it's an easy one. It's not tough if you follow the process. So inequality means what? There are 4 signs. That's all. Greater than, equal to, less than, equal to. These all 4 signs are called inequality signs. Agreed? If I say X is equal to 5, this is nothing but an equation. If I say X is greater than 5, this is an inequality equation. Simple logic. In algebra term, you can also say this is range of X, this is value of X, but I'm not getting into that right now. X is equal to 5 is called an equation. X greater than 5 is called an inequality equation. Please be extremely sure in inequality, signs of variables are extremely important. Signs of variables are extremely important in inequality. Imagine when I say you minus X, what do you mean by this? Please understand X is not minus, X is not negative. Minus X in algebra means minus is an independent element, X is an independent element. You can't say minus X means X is negative. That is crap. This is a place where I am not sure about the value of X. So if value of X is negative, minus X is a positive number. If value of X is positive, minus X is a negative number. But do not assume by yourself that minus X is a negative number. No. Minus X means minus is a separate element, X is a separate element. When I say minus XY, it means minus is separate element, X is separate element, Y is separate element. It at all does not mean that XY is negative. This is crap. I'm not sure about the sign of X. I'm not sure about the sign of Y. When I say minus XYZ, it means there are 4 different elements available over here. One is negative, one is X, one is Y, one is Z. It never means that minus X is negative. So guys, if I do XY greater than 0, what do you mean by this? Sign of X and Y are same, right? in any problem in this chapter, please be extremely frank in asking, don't at all feel bad and all, please. The sign of x and y are same. When I say xy less than 0, what does this mean? X and y sign are opposite.
Yeah.
Perfect. Because you can, and whenever you are confused, take some number by yourself. +2 cross +2 is what? 4 greater than 0. -2 into -2, that is again 4, which is greater than 0. So it means that when xy is greater than 0, sign of x and y both can be positive, both can be negative. And xy less than 0, x and y are of opposite sign. If x is 2, y is -3, it is less than 0. Or I can take -2 into 3, this is again less than 0. So if xy is less than 0, if x is positive, y will be negative. If x is negative, y positive. Here both positive or both negative. Simple logic. But when I do simple stuff, if I do x minus a into x minus b greater than 0. Imagine if I'm doing here x minus 10 into x minus 20 greater than 0. So x minus a into x minus b greater than 0 means x lies outside of a and b. But guys, please understand, this is no formula and all. This is absolutely no formula. It is not x square minus y square is equal to x plus y into x minus y. This is a solution of the equation. So when I say x minus a into x minus b greater than 0, I say you x can either be less than a or x can be greater than b. What do you mean by this? Imagine if I solve this particular equation, what do I get? I'll get x is either less than 10 or x is greater than 20. But what do you mean by x is less than 10 or x is greater than 20? What exactly is this? This is nothing but a solution of this equation. When you say x square is equal to 4, x is equal to plus or minus 2. What is this plus or minus 2? This is nothing but a solution of the equation. And what do you mean by solution of the equation? When you put this back into the equation, your LHS should be equal to RHS. Simple logic. When I put plus 2, 2 square is equal to 4, LHS is equal to RHS. When I put minus 2 square is equal to 4, LHS is equal to RHS. So when I say this x minus a into x minus b greater than 0, x should be less than a or x should be greater than b. A is a smaller entity. Please understand. I'll explain you properly. B is a bigger entity. So when I say x is either less than 10 or x is greater than 20, this is nothing but a solution of the equation. When you put this value back into the equation, you will see equation should satisfy, or else our solution is wrong. If I take x less than 10, tell me what value you want me to take. I'll take x less than 10, x is equal to 5. Now let's put over here. 5 minus 10 is what? Minus 5. 5 minus 20 is what? Minus 15. So minus 5 into minus 15 greater than 0. Simple logic. You take any value of x greater than 20. Let's take x is equal to 25. 25 minus 10 is what? 15. 25 minus 25. 15 into 5 greater than 0. You take any value x less greater for x less than 10 and x greater than 20. This equation should satisfy. But how? Like obviously you don't have to. You don't need to know how it has come. But I can solve one equation for you. No issues. Imagine. If at all you have to solve this equation, how do you solve this? X minus 10 into x minus 20. You don't have to always solve. Please ensure this is generalized sort of a formula. You can always put every equation into this formula and do it. But let's solve this. X minus 10 into x minus 20 greater than 0. What is this A and what is this B? If AB is greater than 0, guys, means what? That A and B are of same sign. I can have two cases. Case one is what? If A is positive, means if x minus 10 is greater than 0, then x minus 20 should be greater than 0. Simple logic. That is, if x is greater than 10, then x should be greater than 20. So take over here 10 here, take 20 over here. X is greater than 10. This graph clear? X is greater than 20. This graph, what is the common value? X greater than 20. This was case 1. Now case 2 is what? If A is negative and B is negative, my AB is what? X minus 10 into x minus 20. So case 2 would become, if x minus 10 is less than 0, then can I say x minus 20 is also less than 0? That is, if x is less than 10, then x should be less than 20 as well. Now plot this into the graph. This is 10 and this is 20. X is less than 10. This is fine. X is less than 20. What is a common graph? X less than 10. So this is what I have written over here, that if x minus 10 into x minus 20 greater than 0, x can either be less than 10 or x can be greater than 20. But you please ensure that this is more than sufficient. This is a very generalized form. You don't have to do these many stuff always. Absolutely no. This is, I've just told you to how you understand the stuff. Any doubt, boss? Any doubt, guys? Imagine if I give you x plus 5 into x minus 10 greater than 0. What's the solution? First, ensure that when you are finding a solution, every equation should be represented in this form first. And then choose A is a smaller entity, B is a bigger entity.
Your solution could be x is less than minus 5
5.
and
Brilliant. Or x is greater than 10, not and. So what exactly I did here? So see here, it should be x minus of minus 5 into x minus 10 greater than 0. This means nothing but which is the smaller element, minus 5 or 10?
minus
5 or
5.
10. Minus 5 is smaller, so x is less than negative 5 or x is greater than 10. This is the solution of the equation. Please, you don't have to at all do these things always. One last, if I say you x plus 10 into x plus 30 greater than 0, what do you mean by this?
That x is less than minus 30 or x is greater than minus 10.
Absolutely. Guys, any problem in understanding this? You will simple do x minus of minus 10 into x minus of minus 30. Now you say in minus 10 and minus 30, which is a smaller element? Minus 30, right? Negative side may the number which heavier numbers are always less. So x is less than negative 30 or x is greater than negative 10. Simple logic. So this means nothing. You put any value here. You put any value over here, this equation will satisfy. Any doubt in understanding this? Please tell me. Shruti, clear?
So I'm not getting, like, if you've given greater than 0, how are you deriving x is less than minus 30? Like you showed the common denominator thing on the, yeah.
Yeah, yahan pe.
Yahan pe, if it's given greater than 0, so
No,
I'm
what is
not
greater than
understanding.
0? No, but you don't have to understand this. You just have to understand this format. See here.
Okay.
Don't understand that. Understand this format. I'm just simply trying to say you, Shruti, that if x minus a into x minus b is greater than 0, and ensure that x is less than a or x is greater than b, where a is a smaller element and b is a
But how
bigger
are you
element.
deriving x is lesser than a?
No, we did this now. AB greater than 0. Like, let's say if you solve this equation, x minus 10 into x minus 20 greater than 0, right?
Right.
You don't have to understand this derivation at all, but I'm just explaining you again. When you say x minus 10 into x minus 20 greater than 0. So let's say this is A and this is B. AB is greater than 0, right, Shruti?
Hmm.
AB greater than 0 means what? A and B can be of same sign and A and B can be of
Yeah.
opposite sign as well.
Yeah.
A and B can also always be of same sign. Sorry, AB greater than 0 means A and B are of same sign. It means they can be both positive and both negative.
Negative,
right?
yeah.
So I've taken once A is positive. X minus A is nothing but x minus 10. So x minus 10 is positive. So x minus 20 is also positive.
Mm.
So if x minus 10 is greater than 0, x is greater than 10. If x minus 20 is greater than 0, x is greater than 20, right? So I've plotted into the number line. So I've just taken a common value. Common value is what? X is greater than 20, right?
Right.
And then I've taken case 2 that if A is less than 0, B is also less than 0. So if x minus 10 is less than 0, x is less than 10, Shruti. If x minus 20 is less than 0, x is less than 20, right?
Acha, okay, acha. Got it.
So मैंने बस derive किया. But you don't have to get into this derivations at all. You just need to understand this entire logic as to how you write the solution. तो यहाँ पे x minus a into x minus b greater than 0, I've said you x is less than a or x is greater than b. I've given you a simple question, x plus 10 into x plus 30 greater than 0. Now your job is to convert this into this equation first. So what will you do? X minus of minus 10, right? Because it should be in form of x minus a, Shruti. No other form it should be. So x plus 10, can I write minus of minus 10? Because if you remove the bracket, it will become x plus 10. And then can I write this x minus of minus 30? Because when
X
you
less
remove the
than
bracket,
minus 30. Okay.
absolutely. So now which is the smaller element? Minus 30 is
Minus.
smaller or minus 10 is
Yeah.
smaller?
Minus
So
30.
this is A and this is B. So x is less than minus 30 or x is greater than minus 10. You please ask me, don't be scared at all. There are only 5 or 6 people, 7, 8 people. That's it. Please ask. Don't worry at all. Guys, any problem? Anyone? All clear with this? Because this is extremely important one. You will see the uses of this when we solve question. So if you have any bit of doubt, please tell me. Everyone clear, right? Okay. So the second is if x minus a into x minus b is less than 0, we have to do nothing. It is exactly the same thing what we have done. It's just that when x minus a into x minus b is less than 0, x lies between a and b. You don't have to get into the derivation of how it is a between a and b. You can 100% do it in your homework. Imagine if I say x minus 5 into x minus 10 less than 0. This means nothing but x lies between 5 and 10. A here is a smaller entity and b is a bigger one. And be extremely sure minus and a are, these are two different elements. So when I say x minus 5 into x minus 10 less than 0, x lies between 5 and 10. So this is nothing but a solution. This is no formula at all. You put this any value over here and check. Imagine between 5 and 10, what is the value you can take? I'll take 6. 6 minus 5 is what? 1. 6 minus 10 is what? Minus 4. It is less than 0. For one single value, if this equation does not satisfy, it means what we have done is wrong. This should be 100% sufficient for every value of x lying between 5 and 10. You should get x minus 5 into x minus 10 is less than 0. Any doubt, boss? All clear? Shruti, clear?
Yes.
So now come to this place. X square greater than x. What do you mean by x square greater than x? Think about when is the condition possible. So any algebraic equation, your first job is always to think when is the condition possible. This line means for what value of x this condition is possible.
And Rahul, here x is supposedly we are assuming that it's an integer.
Yeah, no, it's not integer. It could be anything.
Okay.
When it is not given, it could be anything. It could be integer, fractions, whatsoever. Positive, negative, everything. So for what value of x this is possible? This one line is extremely important, guys. This can solve your algebra question. When is the condition possible? Just this one line can bring your algebra headache down by 90%. You should 100% try and understand when is the condition. Whenever you see any sorts of algebraic expression, imagine if I say x is equal to 0, do you think it is possible? 0 square is greater than 0? No. If I put x is equal to 1, do you think it is possible? No. 1 square is not greater than 1. But you take any value greater than 1, you take even 1.1. 1.1 square will surely be greater than 1. 1.1. Or you take x is equal to 2. So 2 square is greater than 2. Yes, it's possible. So this equation is 100% possible for all the values of x greater than 1. And you are not only supposed to think about positive value because nothing is mentioned about x. So you have to also think in terms of when it is negative. Now imagine when I take any negative value, x square is what? Always positive. It will make any negative number positive number, right?
Yes.
So you take any negative value x less than 0 for this also this condition. This is fine. Now these are the two things. X, this x square greater than x simple means that either x is greater than 1 or x is less than 0. So this is what is your thought process, and it is good to think. I'm telling you, when the equation is linear and when the equation is quadratic, you should 100% think when is the condition possible. But please understand when equation becomes cubic, when equation becomes fractional equation, that is a place where you should solve that. You should never think about when is the condition possible. Now imagine, how do you solve it? You leave about when is the condition possible and all. This is a very good thing to do. And I'll come to this point later also. But if at
So-
all I have to solve this, how do you solve it?
So
Because-
Rahul,
Yeah.
sorry to interrupt.
No, please tell me.
Just one question.
Yes.
What should be my initial instinct? Should I solve the equation
No, no, no.
algebraically
Your
first, or
your
should I?
initial instinct should always be numbers. When it's a quadratic equation or linear equation. When it's a cubic equation, you should not even think of considering numbers and all.
Okay.
When it's a cubic equation or it's a fractional equation, you should always simply try to solve it. But when it's a quadratic equation, when equations are small, Manu, then you should 100% think about numbers for sure.
Okay, because here, if I were to look at this equation in a question, I would have solved it by bringing x on the other side and then getting to
100%. Like, how do
solutions.
you solve it? But you should not. But these things will happen, Manu, when we do the questions now. I'll tell you how the
Okay.
questions needs to be done also. We'll do a
Okay.
lot of questions. Yahan pe I'll try and solve the equation. Yahan pe I'll try and take simply numbers. So these
Okay.
things will be very clear. Don't worry at all. But how exactly you solve it, guys? If I ask you to solve this equation, can you simple cut this square and say x is greater than 1? This is wrong. You should never ever do this. Never ever do cut. And if it says if x is greater than 1 by x, you can never do x square greater than 1. This is wrong. Please understand, you can never cut the variable. You can never cross multiply the variable until it is explicitly mentioned in the question that x is positive. You should not be doing this at all till it is mentioned in the question explicitly that x is positive, because when you are cutting and you are saying x greater than 1, technically you are not even thinking about negative values of x, and it is nowhere mentioned in the question that x is positive. So doing this is a blunder that you will be doing. So how do you solve it? Please see here. You can always transpose the variable from one side to other side. So imagine, can I do this x square minus x greater than 0? Can I take a common x into x minus 1 greater than 0? Now this x can be written as x minus 0 into x minus 1 greater than 0, because anything minus 0 is anything. 4 minus 0 is 4, 10 minus 0 is 10, 20 minus 0 is 20, x minus 0 is x. Now moment I get this value x minus 0 into x minus 1 greater than 0, it means what? X is either less than 0 or x is greater than 1. And when we have thought when is the condition possible, we have exactly got the same value. X is greater than 1 and x is less than 0. So your solution should always match. Your solution should always 100% match to the thought process that you have. Clear? Any doubt, boss?
Not from my side.
Shruti?
All good.
Aditi?
No.
Krish, fine?
Yeah.
So now imagine if I say you x square less than x, what does this mean? You can 100% say when is the condition possible. You can think about it for sure. Imagine if I take x is equal to 0, 0 square less than 0, no. If I take x is equal to 1, 1 square less than 1, no. If I take x is equal to 2, 2 square less than 2, no. If I take x is equal to minus 1 square less than minus 1, no. So take a number between 0 and 1. When x lies between 0 and 1. Agreed? So for this particular stuff, this will be possible. You take half square less than half, yes, because half square becomes 1 by 4. 1 by 3 square is less than 1 by 3, yes, because it becomes 1 by 9. Agreed?
Yeah.
Or else let's solve it, simple logic. X square minus x is less than 0. X into x minus 1 is less than 0. And this is nothing but x minus 0 into x minus 1 less than 0. So x minus a into x minus b less than 0, it means what? X lies between a and b, 0 and 1. Agreed? So this equation means what? This equation by default means ki x will lie between 0 and 1. Guys, clear? We are starting inequality. People are so surprised.
Yes.
Any doubt?
Yes. Yes.
Perfect. Now we'll twist a bit. Imagine now I say you x cube greater than x. What do you mean by this? Now I've told you when the equations are in cubic form, you are not supposed to think when is the condition possible. You have just one resort, solve it. Try solving this and be very sure you can't cut this and this. I'm telling you again because nothing is mentioned that x is positive or not. You can 100% tell me, Rahul, for x greater than 1, this suffice because you take any value of x greater than 1, 2q is greater than 2, 3q is greater than 3, 4q is greater than 4. But don't tell me this, give me, solve it. After solving, if you get greater than 1, it's fine.
So if I transpose x, I get 3 solutions.
Yeah, please. You give me the final solution. Just solve. You transpose and solve. Take 2 minutes and give me the final solution.
X is greater than 0, x is greater than 1 and
my
less
answer
than.
is either x will be greater than 1 or x will be between -1 and 0.
So quickly, how you got this? You solved it right now. Aditi? तूने solve किया Aditi?
Are you asking me? I'm sorry, there is a little lag in my internet. I'm really sorry, I can't hear you.
No, like you told me the answer right now, right?
Can't hear you. 1 second. Hello?
Yeah. Who told me the answer right now?
Yeah.
X is greater than 1.
I said that the answer is 1 or x is between -1 and 0. Yeah.
But did you solve it or you simply said it?
Yeah, I did. I solved it. Of course, I took x out and my equation was x minus 0, x plus 1, x minus 1 greater than 0. And then I plotted it and that's how I got the answer.
Okay. See here, but can I do it x cube minus x greater than 0? Right? If I do it, take x common, I'll have x square minus 1 greater than 0. Simple. And we have read just AB greater than 0. So let's not completely evaluate it at this place. Consider this as A and consider this as B. So I say if x is greater than 0, then x square minus 1 is also greater than 0 for sure. Agreed? Manu? Shruti, clear?
Yes.
Pooja?
Yes.
So x square minus 1 greater than 0 means what? X minus 1 into x plus 1 is greater than 0. Agreed? Right. If I say x minus 1 into x plus 1 greater than 0, can I say this x is less than -1 or x is greater than 1? X minus a into x minus b greater than 0, x lies between outside of a and b. That's what I've done, nothing else. Any doubt, boss? Now we just plot it into the number line. Imagine this is 0, this is -1, and this is 1. So x is greater than 0. And x is less than -1 and x is greater than 1. And x is greater than 1. What is the common value? X greater than 1, right? Agreed? Now the second situation is what? First situation was when a is greater than 0, b is greater than 0. Now second situation will be when a is less than 0, b is less than 0. That is, if x is less than 0, x square minus 1 will be less than 0. X square minus 1 less than 0 means what? X minus 1 into x plus 1 less than 0. And this doesn't mean anything but x lies between -1 and 1. Agreed, Manu? Now
Yes.
see here, 0, -1, 1. Now it says x is less than 0. And again it says x lies between -1 and 1. So what is my common value? X lies between -1 and 0. Krish, clear?
Yeah.
So it simple means, guys, that if xq is greater than x is either greater than 1 or x will lie between -1 and 0. Any doubt? Any doubt? Pooja, clear?
Yeah.
Shruti?
Yes.
Oh, Krish, clear now? Manu ka clear. Okay, Lakshmi, clear?
Yes, Rahul.
So now the second concept, now the main one is, see, even powers cannot be predicted. So what do we mean by saying even powers cannot be predicted? It means that, imagine if x is greater than y, can I say x square will be greater than y square? Imagine if x is equal to 10, y is equal to 5. So 10 is greater than 5 and 10 square is greater than 5 square. But x can also be 10 and y can be -20. So 10 is greater than -20, but 10 square will not be greater than -20 square. And that's the reason I say even powers cannot be predicted. If x is greater than y, x square is greater than y square, we are not sure about it. We are not sure about it until we know the value of x and y. Agreed? But when we make a statement, even powers cannot be predicted, it's a very harsh statement that we are trying to make, right? Imagine if I say you, if x is greater than y square, can I say x is greater than y or x is less than y? It's not about can I say, because right now we have made a statement that even powers cannot be predicted. So this is again a even power. If x is greater than y square, x can be actually greater than y as well, x can be less than y as well. Think about it. So see here, if I take x is equal to, let's say 10, y is equal to 2. Can I say 10 is greater than 2 square? And 10 is actually greater than 2. And this is nothing but x is greater than y. But if I take x is equal to 1/3, y is equal to half. Can I say 1/3 is greater than half square? But 1/3 technically is less than half. That is x is less than y. Now what I'm trying to say you here, that if x is greater than y square, x can be greater than y, x can be less than y. See here in this case, x is greater than y square, right?
Yes.
And x is greater than y?
Yes.
In this case, x is again greater than y square, but x is less than y. Please check. Agreed? Shruti?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Any doubts, Shruti?
No.
If x square is greater than y, because we have made a very harsh statement, even powers cannot be predicted. So anything in even powers, you should be in a position to say it may not, it should not, it is not, we are not sure about it until we know the value of x and y. So if I say x square is greater than y, can I say x can be greater than y or x can be less than y? Think if x is equal to, let's say I take 5, normal number, y is equal to 4. Can I say 5 square is greater than 4? And 5 is actually greater than 4. And if I take x is equal to 3, y is equal to 4, can I still say 3 square is greater than 4? But 3 technically is less than 4. So see here, x square, I have told you if x square is greater than y, x can be greater than y, x can be less than y. This is a place where x square is greater than y. X is greater than y here, right? This is a place where x square is greater than y. X is less than y over here. Check. So this is a case where x is greater than y. This is a case where x is less than y. So I'll give you all the videos also. I'm recording the videos. I'll give you the access of all videos. So you need to ensure that you go back and look into this very well. Is this clear?
Yeah.
Any doubt, guys? Now one last concept of inequalities, because too much of theories has happened. Without problem, class is very boring. I understand. It's the last one. So imagine if A is greater than B. Can I say AM is greater than BM? We cannot say this until we are sure about the sign of M. Imagine 10 is greater than 5. So 10 cross 2 is actually greater than 5 cross 2. But again, 10 cross negative 2 is not greater than 5 cross negative 2, right? So if A is greater than B, AM is greater than BM, we cannot say this until we are sure about the value of M or sign of M whatsoever. Just by saying that if A is greater than B, AM is greater than BM, we don't know, because 10 is greater than 5, 10 cross 2 will be greater than 5 cross 2, 10 cross negative 2 will be not greater than 5 cross negative 2. Simple logic. Clear? Now guys, look into point number 1. What we discussed what we discussed right now is that this is the same point. Question number 1. Point number 1. Any doubt in point number 1, please? It says if A is greater than B, AM greater than BM, we aren't sure until we know the sign of M. Point number 2 says one thing. Point number 2 is what? Point number 2 is simply trying to say that when we solve question, what are the values of X that we should be taking. But please understand, there is no pattern. There is no way that this is how value should be taken. So I'll try my best to solve almost all the questions algebraically, but there are some questions where we need to take some values to solve that particular question. And those are the values we'll do in the question as to how we should be taking that value. There is no certain pattern. It just says that normal values that you should be taking is 0, 1, -1, half, negative half, 1/3, negative 1/3, 1/4, negative 1/4, 2/3, negative 2/3, 3/4, negative 3/4. If the equation is linear, you should not be taking 3/2. Why? Because you've already checked for value 1, and 3/2 is a number which is greater than 1. So if an equation satisfies for 1, the equation will surely satisfy for the value greater than 1. So we should not be so, but again, this is a simple stupidity. We should not be, I'll come to this point when we do the questions. I'll tell you exactly how you should be taking values. There is no generalized way. These are the only values that should be taken. Point number 3 is clear, right? Check, please. Any doubt in point number 3?
No.
Point number 4, point number 5, we just did. X square greater than X, X can be less than 0 or greater than 1. X square less than X, X will lie between 0 and 1. X square is equal to X means X is either 0 or 1, because when you put 0, LHS is equal to RHS. When you put 1, LHS is equal to RHS. Point number 7, XQ is greater than X. X can be either greater than 1 or X may lie between -1 and 0. Point number 8 is our homework, guys. Please do solve and get it the value by yourself. It says XQ is less than X. So either X is less than -1 or X lies between 0 and 1. Please ensure that you solve it. Point number 9 and 10 are eventually the same thing. It says if XQ is equal to X, X can either be 0, because when you put 0, LHS is equal to RHS. When you put 1, LHS is equal to RHS. When you put -1, LHS is equal to RHS. So X can either be 0, 1 or -1. Point number 11, if X is greater than Y, it is not necessary that X square is greater than Y square. Even powers cannot be predicted. We did it in a very detailed way. Point number 12, if X is greater than Y, it is necessarily true that XQ will be greater than YQ, because the cubic forms behave in the same way, right? If 2 is greater than 1, 2q will be greater than 1q. If -1 is greater than -5, then -1q will be greater than -5q for sure. Sign does not change at all. Point number 13, 14, 15. We'll do it later. Or too much of theory has happened. I think we should do some questions. So question number 1, guys. It's getting too much of what? Please tell, or else I'll keep going. We can do, should we do the class right now?
Yes, yes.
Please.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, please.
Okay. So question number 1. Now question number 1, I'm telling you before, this is a classy 800 label problem. But my purpose of putting this as a first question is not to discourage you. I don't care what you do, you can do, you can't do. It's absolutely it's all okay. But this is one of the most beautiful question to ensure that how you approach a data sufficiency problem. This is one of the best questions that you can get to understand how to approach a data sufficiency problem. So I'll explain you very properly, but you can aram to take a break of 4-5 minutes and do this question. Take 4-5 minutes and do this. Not 2 minutes. You can take 4. Do think whatever you can. So inequality is a tough chapter, guys. Don't be discouraged for sure. But again, why I'm doing this? Because once this is done properly, other chapters will look cakewalk for you. It's very easy to teach some very easy stuff and move on, making you very happy that things are being understood. Yep. Aditi.
Sorry, I'm interrupting. My
No.
answer is E.
Okay. But what did you do? Did you
Yeah,
get a
I
yes
put
and
in,
no situation?
yeah,
Or-
I did put in a yes and no situation. I also put in values where X and Y ka value was greater than Z ka value. And
Okay.
then X and Y ka value was less than Z ka value. And all are
Absolutely.
positive only. So I got
Absolutely.
2 non-sufficient.
I hope you have not put key even powers cannot be predicted, so not sufficient. वो मत कर देना, please.
नहीं मैंने values डाले. X को मैंने
Perfect.
मतलब.
Perfect. Krish, done. Shruti, any hint of how to
All
proceed?
right, sir.
Manu,
Yes, Rahul, my answer is E.
Lakshmi, your answer? Pooja.
E, Rahul.
Okay. Pooja. Perfect. So let's see here. So this is tough question. Again, I'm telling you. It says that is x4 plus y4 greater than z4. Option number 1 says x square plus y square is greater than z square. Option number 2 says x plus y is greater than z. So obviously I can straight away say even powers cannot be predicted. Option number 1 is not sufficient. Simple logic. I can straight away say this. But again, what I need to do when you are doing it in home, ensure that it's a is type of a problem. Let's follow the process. The question is this type. If I say some statement not sufficient, I must have a yes situation and no situation absolutely front of us. Without yes and no situation, when you are practicing questions in home, you will not say it is not sufficient. You cannot say even powers is not predicted, so not sufficient. These are the stuff that you say it in the exam. I'm not expecting that you solve this question in the exam, but there should be a proper background to say it is even powers cannot be predicted. You simple can't say even powers cannot be predicted. So I have to create a yes and no situation. The question says, is x4 plus y4 is greater than z4? Now, how you need to prove that x4 plus y4 is greater than z4 or not? This needs to be proved with the help of a statement, the information that is given to us in the question. So statement number 1 says x square plus y square is greater than z square. So all we need to do here now is just by knowing that x square plus y square is greater than z square, can I actually say x to the power 4 plus y to the power 4 is greater than z to the power 4? This is technically our question. So imagine if I take x is equal to 100, y is equal to 100 and z is equal to 1. Can I for the fact say option number 1 suffice, x square plus y square is greater than z square, right? And my main question suffice, that is x4 plus y4 is greater than z4. So I have a yes situation to it for sure, right? Because you need to ensure that you are trying to prove the question with the help of statement. So please ensure never ever challenge the statement. Never ever challenge the statement. What do you mean by never ever challenge the statement? Because now you have to prove a no situation. A lot of people will say, Rahul, if I put x is equal to 1, y is equal to 1, z is equal to 10, x4 plus y4 is not greater than z4. So this is a no situation. But do you think you can take these numbers? Can you take this number? Because if you can take this number, you can take any number in the world and prove every question, yes situation, no situation. The point is, you need to prove question how? You need to solve question with the help of statements. There's a boundary that is given to you. Statement number 1 says x square plus y square is greater than z square. So you have to 100% ensure that whichever number you take for proving yes situation or for a proving no situation, the statement should satisfy for sure. If I take x is equal to 1, y is equal to 1 and z is equal to 10, do you think x square plus y square will be greater than z square? No. If this is not greater, then this is a number we are not supposed to take, because question does not allow us to take this number. Because if we would be independent to take any number, then there is no question only that you can't prove. Every question will be yes, 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 or no, 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 no. Because when you are free to take a number by yourself, it's over. There is no math then again. So here question says statement is the boundary that you should be within. You cannot cross this boundary of the statement. The statement says x square plus y square is greater than z square. So I've taken a set of a number, x is equal to 100, y is equal to 100, z is equal to 1, for which my statement suffice. Obviously 100 square plus 100 square is greater than z to the power z square. And my question also satisfies 100 to the power 4 plus 100 to the power 4 will be surely greater than 1 to the power 4. Now imagine if I take a number x is equal to, let's say 3. I'll take some other number also. Y is equal to 3, z is equal to 4. Can I say option number 1 suffice? Statement 1 suffice, because you have to take a number which suffices the statement. You can't go beyond the statement at all. Now see 9 plus 9, 18 is greater than 16 for sure. I have a yes situation. Statement, I have a statement is satisfied, I'm trying to say you. But now you say for the same value, x4 plus y to the power 4 is greater than z to the power 4. So this is what? 81. 3 to the power 4 is 81. This is 81. Do you think 81 plus 81 is greater than 4 to the power 4? This is 256. This is 162. So this is not greater, right? So I have a yes situation here. I have a no situation here. So I can say this statement is not sufficient. Any doubt, boss? Any doubt anywhere, Shruti, Pooja?
Got it.
Just to
Yeah,
summarize,
please, Krish.
you were saying that when you are solving such a question, the statement should be within the boundary. So you have to use such numbers such that that statement is valid.
Statement is always valid. Never ever challenge the statement, because Gmat says that you need to prove this question: x4 plus y4 greater than z4. Is x4 plus y4 greater than z4? How
Right.
you need to prove the question? You need to prove the help of statement only, right?
Right.
And now the question comes ki you can 100% argue ki Rahul, how have you taken this number? How this came so quick in your head? X
Right.
is equal to 3, y is equal to 3, z is equal to 4. I can also take, you can take 4, 4, 5. This will also
Right.
suffice. I can also say you take 4, 5, 6. This will also suffice. What you need to do is, when you are proving a yes situation, you have taken a number x and y very bigger than g. So obviously, if x square plus y square is greater than z square, x4 plus y4 surely be greater than z to the power 4, because 1 to the power 4, right?
Yeah.
In no situation, what you have to do, please understand, you need to ensure that z4 you need to make greater, right? Greater than x square plus y square, right?
Right.
If you take a value of z, if you take value of x and y greater than the z, will you be able to prove a no situation? Absolutely no. Imagine you take x is equal to 4. So 4 to the power 4 plus 3 to the power 4, where 100% it will be greater than 4 to the power 4, right?
Yeah.
So what you need to analyze is that when you take values, question should always be in your head. You cannot deviate from question even 1 second.
Agree.
Because why did I take z to the power 4? If I take 4, x is equal to 4, y is equal to 4, z is equal to 5, even this is valid.
Right.
Because say 4 square plus 4 square is what? 30, 16 plus 16 is 32. 32 is greater than 25, right?
Right.
But when you do 4 to the power 4, 256 plus 256, you will have somewhere around 500, right? 5 to the power 4 is what? 625?
Yeah.
Again, you have a no situation. Even if you take 4, 5, 6, imagine 4 square plus 5 square is what? 25 plus 16 is greater than 36?
Yeah.
The statement number 1 suffice?
Yeah.
But when I look and put into the question, 4 to the power 4 is what? 256? This is 625. 256 plus 625 will have somewhere around 800 something.
Yeah.
This is 6 to the power 4. 36 into 36. 30 into 30 is 900. 36 into 36 will be greater than 900 for sure, no?
Yeah.
Agreed? So it's not about how you take the number. It's all about when you are taking a number, you should ensure that how your number is behaving with the question. You cannot randomly take a number, because randomly, if you take a number, sometime it will be sufficient, but sometime it will be a humongous problem.
Right.
Agreed? So I have a no situation. So this is not sufficient. And I've shown you by taking 4, 5 numbers. So it's absolutely okay, right?
Yeah.
Now, option number 2, agar you dekh, x plus y is greater than z. If I take the same number, it becomes much easier for us to combine. Option number 2 says x plus y is greater than z. And the question is asking, is x to the power 4, y to the power 4 greater than z to the power 4? Imagine if I take x is equal to 100, y is equal to 100, z is equal to 1. Can I say option number 2 suffice, x plus y greater than z?
Yeah.
Can I say question suffice, that is x4 plus y4 is greater than z4, right? I have a yes situation. When I say x is equal to 3, y is equal to 3, and z is equal to 4. Again, my statement number 2 suffice, x plus y greater than z. Statement number 1, but question does not suffice, x4 plus y4 is not greater than z4. So I have a yes situation, I have a no situation. Again, option number 1 and 2 are not sufficient, right? Agreed?
Yeah.
Now, when I take question, when I combine both the options, exactly we have taken the same value, I can 100% be very sure that it will not be sufficient again, because when I take this value, see here, when I take x is equal to 100, y is equal to 100, z is equal to 1, my option number 1 suffice, x square plus y square greater than z square. Option should always suffice, else whatever you are doing is wrong. Option number 1 suffice, option number 2 suffice, x plus y greater than z. My question suffice, x4 plus y4 greater than z4. When I take value x is equal to 3, y is equal to 3, z is equal to 4. Option number 1 suffice. Option number 2 suffice. But question does not suffice. So this is a no situation. So I can mark answer E to this question for sure. Agreed? Any doubt? Any doubt?
No,
Anyone?
Rahul.
Nothing from my side.
So,
Manu,
Rahul, I just
yeah,
want to ask one question.
please, please.
How did you come up with these values for X and Y that you should take 100? Because
So you
like,
should always try and take extreme values, Manu. Always. When if you
okay,
are taking, let's say when you're solving a data sufficiency statement and you are trying to create a yes, because when you take a value, thinking what will you take values, Manu? Because you will have to create a yes and no situation, right? But now
okay,
what is
so
the thought process behind taking values? You need to think about that.
yeah, so I mean, in my head, I was going for the common possible values as per
Like
like
what exactly are the
-1,
values?
-2, 0, 1, 2, like
So
that.
देखो,
I would not think of 100. So
no,
that
I'll
is
tell you,
what,
I'll tell you
yeah.
why. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. So always, Manu, ensure that if you can get your work done by making someone friend, you should not make any, you should not do enmity with them for sure. So your first job is always, Manu, take up positive sets of number. If positive sets of
Okay.
number is not making sense there, then you will go to negative sets of a number. If negative is also not making sense, and only then you will go to fraction. I have seen a lot of people straight away taking a fractional value over here. Straight away, you can actually take it 1/2 plus 1/3 greater than something and all. But why you need to do that? Always ensure that first check should be always with the positive. Whenever you, I'll try my best that I'll do all the questions algebraically, because you should have a good idea about how to match algebra with numbers. Taking numbers is a very brilliant thing, but there is no set way, there is no set pattern, there is no set agenda, Manu, that this is how numbers should be taken. This is all about your thought process. So when I say you do the questions, I'll tell you in the homework very clearly. When you do the questions, please take your time to do the question. Never be rushed up at all. Now, this is a question where you should ideally invest 1 hour time, 1.5 hour time. Now, why you invest? Because these are the things which give you a very beautiful pattern to your head. What are the numbers that you should be taking? There is no set way ki Manu take these numbers or take these numbers. This is how it should happen. So when you take number, and there are a lot of questions where I'll be taking a number. So please you see this time. But next class also we'll be carrying with the inequality. You will have a good amount of time to do this in the 1 week. So when you
Uh,
do the questions at your home, please take your time, Manu. Take as many random number as you can think you think. But the one point is there, whatever number you think, your question should 100% make sense to that. You can't simply look into the statement and keep taking some number.
Okay, so as a strategy, I can start with positive numbers and
Always,
then
always,
probably
always,
go with, if
always.
that is not satisfied, then I can
Then
go
you
with
think about the
negative.
negative number. If
Okay,
that is
but
not satisfies, then go with the fractional value.
okay.
And but when you take numbers, Manu, initially when you are doing it, do not rush up at all. Understand what number you are taking and how it is behaving with the questions for sure. That's extremely important. Because if you randomly keep taking numbers, sometime you will get it. But sometime it will be a humongous problem. And the way to take numbers is that when you get one set of a number, you should be in a position to understand you have some 4 or 5 different sets of a number which you can take instantly and get the answer again. So that is the best way to take numbers. So I'll do the second questions as well. See here. Question number 3. This is also a place where you have to take number. There is no other way to solve it. But I promise that 80% of the question I'll be solving algebraically. I will not take numbers.
Okay, sorry, Rahul, which question?
Question number 3.
Okay.
Rahul, my answer is E.
Okay. Krish, what the answer?
I'm confused.
Tired. You seem tired also.
I'm trying to solve.
Shruti,
Solving. So I mean, I'm assuming numbers and trying to solve.
Manu done.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if it's, so it's, I think it's E.
Lakshmi, yours?
E, Rahul.
Pooja, doing? It says that if x is not equal to negative y, is x minus y over x plus y greater than 1? So there's a bit of information that is given to. So guys, what we have done right now is the two types of a question, S type and a what type. In the next class, I'll go ahead with this. There are two structures of a question. One is a direct question and one is when some information is given to you in the question. So how should you actually attempt a problem when some information is given to you in the question, and how should you actually attempt a problem when it's a direct question? But here there are some information that x is not equal to negative y. What does this mean? That x plus y is not equal to 0. Simple logic, right? Or the question is x minus y over x plus y greater than 1? Option number 1 says x is greater than 0. Option number 2 says y is less than 0. Oh, it's a S type of a question, guys. Simple logic. If you say option number 1 not sufficient, do not say no idea about why. I can 100% say this because I have solved it many times. So not sufficient. It's always better that get a yes and no situation. It's pretty simple. You have a yes type of a question. When you are saying something is not sufficient, you should be extremely sure that there should be a yes and no situation on your pen and paper, with your pen and paper. There is no other way of you telling it is a not sufficient or sufficient. So x greater than 0, imagine if I take x is equal to 10 and y is equal to 5. What do I get? I put it over here. I get 10 minus 5 by 10 plus 5. That is 5 by 15. That is 1 by 3, which is less than 1. Because from option number 1, I have no idea about y. I can take anything. So I've created a no situation. Now, can I take a yes situation? I take x is equal to 10, y is equal to negative 5. Now, what do I get? 10 minus of minus 5 by 10 minus 5, that is 15 by 5, which is actually greater than 1. 3 is greater than 1. I have a yes situation. So I have a yes and no situation, not sufficient. Option number 1. Option number 2, guys, it's pretty clear. No idea about x. It is not sufficient, but please ensure that you create a yes and no situation. Now we are going to combine it. So when you combine it, what do you exactly have here? X is greater than 0 and y is less than 0. Can I take this situation, x is equal to 10 and y is equal to minus 5? I have a yes situation, right? Agreed? Now please understand, how will you get a no situation? Now there are two options. Either you randomly keep taking some values and think for yourself that you will get a no situation. You may 100% get it. Why not? But don't do random stuff at all. When you take values, questions should be in your head. Without questions, your taking value is an absolutely shitty stuff. This is 100% not recommendable. Whatever it is, when you are learning from very beginning, you have to learn how to take values. So imagine when I combine both the situation, I say x is greater than 10, y is less than 0. X is greater than 0, y is less than 0. Now my question says what is x minus y over x plus y greater than 1. Now when I look into the numerator part, guys, x minus y, if I take x is equal to a positive number and y is equal to a negative number, can I come down to a conclusion that x minus y will always add up? Check. It does not matter what the value you take. If you take x positive number, y negative number, x minus y value will always and always add up. Simple logic. Agreed? Any doubt? So I should not focus on numerator a bit also. My entire focus should be on denominator. Because now I know that numerator will always and always add up. If I take x positive number and y a negative number, my numerator will always and always add up. So my simple logic is to concentrate on denominator. Now in denominator, it says x plus y. Imagine, guys, if I take value of the magnitude of y greater than x. In 1 second, I can say now it's a no situation. You just have to take magnitude of y greater than x. That's all. Imagine I have taken x is equal to 10. If I take y is equal to minus 20, my numerator nothing. Numerator is adding up. It is 30 straight away without even doing it. But my denominator comes what? Minus 10. This is less than 1. I have a yes situation here. I have a no situation here. And I can say this is not sufficient. Answer is E. When I took 10, y is equal to minus 5. When I took x is equal to 10 and y is equal to minus 5, no doubt numerator will add up. It's 15. But my denominator में 10 minus 5 is 5. That is 3 greater than 1. But moment I have to create a no situation, I should not concentrate on numerator at all. My concentration should be take a magnitude of y bigger than x. That's it. If I take x is equal to 10, y is equal to minus 20. Now, if you have this logic, you can take some 20 sets of number right now and prove a yes situation and no situation. So my concern is only that when you take numbers, initially when you are taking numbers, spend time on it. Spend time as to when you are taking a number, how is your number behaving with the question. For sure do that. Eventually it will happen for sure. You will be able to take a number. This is no rocket science at all. We don't take a number because we never want to take a number. We feel taking number tough. Why? Because none of us ever wants to take a number, and when we take a number, we don't take number properly. We simply have to take a number. We keep trying with some very random stuff and keep doing it. But if you try it properly, look into what exactly is the question asking. Whatever number you are taking, look into the behavior of your number with the question, relate to it. It will be super fine. Agreed? So next concept is like, imagine if I say you a over b greater than 0. Any doubt, boss? Please tell me. Any doubt?
No.
So see, a over b greater than 0. What does this mean? In terms of sign, it's an inequality. So always your first thought process should be always in terms of sign. A over b greater than 0 means sign of a and b are same, right?
Same, yeah.
A over b less than 0 means
Opposite
sign of
side.
a and b are opposite. Agreed? If I'm simple giving you a over b greater than 1, what does this mean? First of all, a fraction is greater than 1. Simple means it's a positive number value. And if a fraction is a positive value, a and b could be of, say, a and b will be of same sign for sure. But the point is that they are just not asking positive over here. It should be greater than 1. So can I take two cases? Case 1, if a and b are positive, if they are positive number, then for a fraction a over b to be greater than 1, a should be greater than b. Because if you do 10 by 5, only then it is greater than 1. No? For a fraction to be greater than 1, in terms of positive number, numerator should always be greater than denominator. Agreed? Case 2 is if a and b are negative. And for a fraction a over b to be greater than 1, a should be always less than b, right? Because minus
Yes.
10 over minus 5 is greater than 1. In terms of negative number, a should always be less than b. In terms of negative, higher the magnitude, lesser the value. Simple. Right?
Yeah.
So based on this simple concept, there's a very beautiful question. Question number 8, please try. I'll do all the questions. Be very sure about it. Pretty simple one as well.
Rahul, the
Option A.
answer is A.
Okay. Manu, yours? Krish?
A.
Pooja?
I'm still solving now.
Please, please, please. Shruti? Actually,
Still solving.
it says k is not equal to 0, 1 and -1. Simple. Is 1 over k greater than 0? Simple. So before we get into the statement, our 100% our job is to understand question for sure. Like think, when is this possible, by the way? When is the condition possible? When can 1 by k be greater than 0? Only when a fraction is
Is-
greater than 0 when both numerator and denominator are of same sign. There's a 1 in numerator which is positive sign, so k should be greater than 0 for this fraction to be greater than 0, right? For 1 by k to be greater than 0, k must be greater than 0. Can I change my question? Is k greater than 0? Because if I prove k is greater than 0, this is by default taken care of. No, I don't even have to think about 1 by k and all. I should just prove that k is positive number. Agreed? Now option number 1 says 1 over k minus 1 is greater than 0. Now what I have told you, options are something which cannot be debated at all. It's not debatable. It's absolute. It should be followed. So option number, statement number 1 says that 1 over k minus 1 is greater than 0. Now we know that 1 over k minus 1 is greater than 0. What we are just trying to do is that we are trying to find out the condition that 1 over k minus 1 is greater than 0 in which condition. So a fraction is positive. When is a fraction positive? When numerator and denominator both are positive, right? Now for this fraction to be greater than 0, k minus 1 should be greater than 0.
Right.
Agreed? Any doubt?
No, got it.
And if k minus 1 is greater than 0, k is greater than 1. If k is greater than 1, k will surely be greater than 0. So I can say this is sufficient. Option number 2 says me 1 over k plus 1 is greater than 0. Again, this is a statement that is given to me and this is true. Now for this statement to be true, I need to be very sure that k plus 1 should be greater than 0. If k plus 1 is greater than 0, k is greater than negative 1. And if k is greater than negative 1, k can be negative half and k can be 2 or 3 or 4, 5 to infinity, does not matter. My question is what? Is k greater than 0? It's a is type of a question. K is negative half, it's a no situation. K is 2, 3, 4, it's a yes situation. I have a yes and no situation and I say this is not sufficient. So A is my answer. Agreed?
Yes.
Now imagine if I change a question a bit. The question is pretty simple. Is 1 over if k is not equal to 0, 1 and -1, is 1 by k greater than 0? If I put it, if k is an integer, if k is integer and k is not equal to 0, 1 and -1, is 1 by k greater than 0? Option number 2 says me k is greater than -1, but it also says that k is an integer. Then k can't be negative half now, right? It is given to me in the question that k is not equal to 0, 1 and -1. So when I say k is greater than -1, the next value that k can take is from 2, 3 to infinity, right? So even this will be sufficient.
C.
So answer would be D, not C.
D.
Sorry. Yeah.
When both are individually sufficient, right? Perfect, boss. So for this particular question, answer is A, because it's not mentioned that k is an integer. Question number 11. It's one of the very beautiful question, by the way. What happened, Krish? Tired?
I think it is
Option C.
Option C. Manu, what's your
Option
answer?
C.
Aditi, your answer?
C.
Pooja, Shruti? Shruti.
Yes, so I'm
Still
thinking.
solving.
I'll share the video, Shruti, don't worry. You just go ahead and watch the videos. Are X and Y both positive? The question is X greater than 0 and Y greater than 0? First is 2x minus 2y is equal to 1. Second is so the question is pretty simple. Is X greater than 0, Y greater than 0? Means it's a very direct question. They're asking you, okay, is X and Y positive? And how you need to prove that X and Y both are positive with the help of statements. Simple. So option number 1, and it's a is type of a question. So my purpose is to create a yes or no situation. Option number 1, can I say X minus Y is equal to half? Can I say this?
Yes.
I'll take 2 common, X minus Y is equal to half. And moment I get X minus Y is equal to half, imagine I take X as 1, Y as half. I get it half. X and Y both positive. But I can also take Y is equal to minus half. X is equal to minus half and Y is equal to minus 1. I'll get this as half. X and Y both negative. Agreed? So I can say my question was what? Is X greater than 0 and Y greater than 0? I've said X can be both positive, X can be both negative. So I can straight away say yes and no situation not sufficient. Right? Option number 2 says what? X over Y greater than 1. What does this mean? For example, a fraction is greater than 1. You will have two situations. Case 1, when X and Y are positive. For a fraction X over Y to be greater than 1, X should be greater than Y. This is case 1. And case 2 is what? When X and Y both are negative. For a fraction X over Y to be greater than 1, X should be less than Y. Because minus 10 by minus 5 will only be greater than 0. So in case of when X and Y are negative, a fraction needs to be greater than 1, numerator should be less than denominator. And when fraction is positive and X and Y has to be greater than 1, X should be greater than Y, simple logic. So can I 100% say X and Y both are positive? I have a yes situation. X and Y both are negative. I have a no situation. So this is again statement is again not sufficient. Now, there are different ways to combine this. You can logically combine without even touching pen and paper. Please understand, it's good that you confirm that this is not sufficient. Option number 1 is not sufficient, but can I 100% say one thing? What can I conclude from option number 1? Can I say X is equal to Y plus half? From option number 1, I can 100% say this, right? I have taken Y on the right hand side. Now, when I take X is equal to Y plus half, can I interpret it in a way that X is greater than Y by half? Or can I for simple fact say that you put any value of Y, it does not matter. You put Y is equal to 1. What is the value of X? 1.5. You put Y is equal to 10. What is value of X? 10.5. You put Y is equal to minus 1. What is the value of X? Minus half. So whatever value of Y you put in this equation, can I 100% for the fact say X is greater than Y?
Yes.
It does not matter to me at all. Whatever Y value you take any positive value of Y, you take any negative value of Y, it does not matter. X is always greater than Y by half. Simple logic. Now option number 2, what has? Option number 2 has X is greater than Y and X is less than Y. Both the scenario. So when I combine, can I say X greater than Y, common term out? And for X greater than Y, X and Y both are positive. So C is my answer. And if you do not want to combine this logically, what can you do? You can put the value of X from here to option number 2 and solve it. So imagine if I put y plus half over y greater than 1. So this becomes what? Y over y plus half y greater than 1. So y becomes 1 plus 1 by 2y greater than 1. Thus this cancels off 1 by 2y greater than 0. Now this is only possible when y is greater than 0. And if y is greater than 0, x over y is greater than 1, x should be greater than 0. So C. But logical way is a pretty easy way to combine. Agreed? Any doubt? Pooja, Shruti, any doubt? Please tell me.
No doubt.
Sure. Aditi, clear? Manu,
Yes,
clear?
yes, sir.
Yes, Rahul.
Okay. Try question number 13 now. It's again a very easy question, looks to be tougher one. Done. It's a 20-second problem, that's all. It says what is 1 by p greater than r by r square plus 2. What are the answers you have got? Tell something.
Option C.
Krish, what the answer?
Either are not sufficient, but I didn't try them together.
C, Rahul option.
Okay. So what exactly did you people do? It's pretty simple. It says that first of all, it's a very direct question. There is no information. The question simple says is 1 over p greater than r by r square plus 2. And the question is this type. Moment question is this type. My job is to create a yes or no situation. Simple logic. Option number 1 says what p is equal to r. I have no idea about the values of p and r. When I see the question, I see that p is on one side, r is other side. So there is no mix and match also. It's all very separate. P is given you one side, r is given you other side. So why not simply try and create a yes or no situation? Imagine if I take p is equal to r is equal to 1. Can I do 1 by 1 greater than 1 by 1? So greater than 1 by 1 square plus 2. This is nothing but 1 is greater than 1 by 3. I have a yes situation. It's a is type of a question. My job is to create a yes and no situation. I believe on that always. So second says what? P is equal to r is equal to minus 1. Now I've created a yes situation. Now I'm thinking that can I create a no situation or not? Let's see. So P is equal to r is equal to minus 1. If I put it over here, 1 over minus 1 greater than minus 1 by minus 1 whole square plus 2. That is nothing but minus 1 is greater than negative 1 by 3. I have a no situation. because -1/3 is greater than -1. So I can straight away say option number 1 is not sufficient. There's no head at all. You should not use your head. Nothing. Just yes and no situation. It's a is type of a problem. Question number 2 says, option number 2 says R is greater than 0. I have no idea about the sign of P. I can never say this is sufficient. So I can say it is not sufficient because you can take R anything. You can take R is equal to 1 lakh. I can take P is equal to 1 CR. You can take R is equal to 1. I can take P is equal to -10. P is equal to 10. So based on my own, because I'm free to assume anything, right? From option number 2. Option number 2 gives me no information about R at all. So I can have a wildest imagination about P. I can take -100. I can take -1. I can take 0.01. So there will be one value that whatever you take value of R is greater than 10. You say R is equal to 10. I'll take it out. You make a situation 10 by 10 square plus 2 is what? 10 by 102. Now, based on this, I'll take P1 fractional value. I'll take P is equal to 1 by 100. So 100 becomes greater than that now. I'll take P is equal to -1. So it becomes less than this. So when I say no idea about P, it's pretty evident that you can create a yes and no situation within second. Agreed? So these two statements are not sufficient because we have a yes and no situation. When I combine it, it says P is equal to R. Option number 2 says R is greater than 0. It means we are taking all this situation. Now you take any value of P is equal to R and R is greater than 0. Because if R is greater than 0 and P is equal to R, it means P is also positive. Simple logic. So it will be always be a confirm yes answer. So C.
Got it.
Clear? Now I'll give you one very easy problem. In fact, two. Question number 14, please.
E, Rahul.
E, right. It says x plus y less than 1. I think it's getting too much for a lot of people. I'll stop today after 2 questions. I think 2.5 hours. So is x plus y less than 1? Simple. At option number 1, I have no idea about y at all. Imagine if I take y is equal to 100. So x plus y will be greater than 1. If I take y is equal to 0.01, it means x plus y is less than 1. I have a yes or no situation. Because option number 1 gives me no idea about y, right? So there is nothing to think at all. I can straight away say no idea about y, not sufficient. Simple logic. When I say y is less than 8, because please understand, you will delay initially, and it's okay that you delay. But if you understand that it's the type of a question, and your entire job is to create a yes or no situation, it will never take time. Y is less than 1/8. I have no idea about the value of x at all. I can straight away say not sufficient. Or else you take x is equal to 100. So x plus y will be surely greater than 1. If you take x is equal to 0.1, x plus y will be less than 1. Considering that y is less than 1/8. So not sufficient. So individually they are not sufficient. It's a 2-second job to understand that they are not sufficient individually to answer is x plus y less than 1. Now, when I'm combining, what are the stuff?
So, like what you're saying is like in the first thought process only, we should see if we have enough information to solve the equation. So if it
100%.
doesn't have, it is like not sufficient, like as a rule.
100%.
Okay.
And
got
when
it.
you are doing it in home, you should think about all these stuff. You go slow. Do not simply say that there is no idea about why and it is not sufficient. Ensure that create a yes and no situation for sure. It's absolutely okay to understand that we have no information about y and I have to answer ki is x plus y less than 1. I can easily say 1 is not sufficient, 2 is not sufficient. But all I'm trying to say, initially you create a yes and no situation. These are the stuff where you can do it in exam. I'll not stop you there. But when you are doing it in home, it's your job to take time, create a yes and no situation. Agreed? So when
Yep.
you're combining, how do you combine? Option number 1 says x is less than 8 by 9. Option number 2 says y is less than 1 by 8. Please understand, when you are combining, these two are an inequality equation given in front of you, right? So how do you combine the equations? You simply try and solve them. If I say you x plus y is equal to 10, x minus y is equal to 20. I ask you to combine these two equations. What exactly you do? You simply try and solve these two equations, right? Nothing else you do. Combination of two equations is always solving those two equations. Nothing else we are going to do. यहाँ पे we are given two inequality equation. X is less than 8 by 9, y is less than 1 by 8. How exactly we combine? We simply try and solve them. Either you subtract or you add. My question is x plus y. I'll get this value only by adding. So if I add this, x plus y would be less than what? 8 by 9 plus 1 by 8. So this is like 72, 64, 9. That is 73 by 72. So what I have got is x plus y is less than 73 by 72. If you divide, it will come down about 1.01, let's say. If I actually divide x plus y, I'll get x 1.01. If you divide 73 by 72, something and all you will get. You don't have to know the exact value. Now, what was your question? Is x plus y less than 1? And after combining what I've got, x plus y is less than 1.01. But guys, please understand, between 1 and 1.01, don't you feel there are humongous values? There are a lot of values. There are thousands of values over here. Can I say if x plus y is less than 1.01, can I say x plus y can be 1.000001? And this is actually greater than 1. And can I also say x plus y can be, if it is less than 1.01, it can be 0.5, which is actually less than 1. So I have a no situation, I have a yes situation, even after combining. So I mark answer E. Any doubt, boss? Now I'm giving you the easiest question that you can get in Gmat. Question number 15.
Answer is B, Rahul.
Beautiful, Aditi.
B.
Yep. So it says, is x minus y plus 1 greater than x plus y minus 1? Greater than x plus y minus 1. The options are what? X greater than 0, y less than 0. So can I transpose the variable again? X minus y greater than -1 -1. X minus x cancels off. -2y greater than -2. And if I multiply by -2, if I divide by -2, what happens? Is y less than 1. Please understand, we are, so when you say x is minus x is equal to -2, what you do? You simply don't cut this and say it is positive. You multiply negative over here. So it becomes x is equal to 2. In inequality sign, imagine 3 is less than 2. 3 is greater than 2. If you multiply negative, what happens? Sign changes. -3 becomes less than -2. So I have multiplied here, I have divided here by -2. If you divide or multiply by negative, sign changes. My question becomes, is y less than 1? Is this clear?
Yeah.
Now my statement says what? Option number 1 says x is greater than 0. This is none of our business at all. My question is y less than 1? Not sufficient. Option number 2 says what? Y is less than 0. If y is less than 0, y is surely less than 1. Sufficient. That's it. So B is the answer. Agreed? Dude, I think it's the first class. All of you are extremely tired. Should we stop and finish this entire chapter in the next class? I mean next Saturday. You can come online now. You don't have to be in mute mode. So, should we stop for today? Hello?
Yeah, I think we can stop.
Because it's getting too much pace, right? Shruti?
Yeah, I think we
Aditi?
can stop.
Rahul,
Yeah, we can stop. Yeah.
a few questions actually.
Yeah, Krish, please ask me. No, please ask me all your questions and all. No issues at all.
So I wanted to ask, like if you want to like revise our like basic concepts. But it's been a while since I've done this. So like, is that Gmat book you've given sufficient? Like
That Gmat Manhattan book I've given to you for algebra.
Yeah.
That is more than sufficient, because end of the day, so it's I would say it's just a hoax sort of a stuff, Krish, that basics and all. Because if you see in inequalities, basics are what? I'll just come down to it. 1 second. Wait, let me stop the recording.